Assalamu alaikum. You are listening to the Professional Muslim Women podcast, a place for working Muslim women to share their stories, struggles, triumphs, and lessons learned along the way in pursuit of their careers. Being a Muslim woman who wants to advance her career without compromising her faith or values can be challenging. We know these systems were never designed for us, but that doesn't mean we can't be strategic in thriving in them as we advance our careers. In this season of the podcast, we'll continue to bring you inspirational, trailblazing, successful, and fulfilled professional Muslim women to you. We'll be introducing a mentoring segment where we answer your burning career and life goals questions. We'll also be featuring the Taking Up Space course, the foundational career strategy course of our sponsor, the Defiance Academy. Tune in to the Professional Muslim Women podcast with me, your host, Dr. Qali Hussein, trauma surgeon, wife, mom of 6, CEO, and keynote speaker for deep dives on all things career and life goals. Keep an ear out for the occasional surprise visits from our sister and friend of the show, Dr. Hani Ahmed, hospitalist, mom, and physician leader. On this podcast, we keep it brutally honest and tackle the taboo so you can be better prepared. Get ready to be inspired and learn how you can be strategic in forging your own path as well. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the Professional Muslim Woman podcast. This is Qali, and in this week's episode, we have Deqa Muhammad. Welcome to the podcast, Deqa.
Thank you. Alaikum assalam. How are you, Dr. Qali?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah. I'm good.
I'm so excited to have you on the podcast today. So Deqa is a premed student, and she is very enthusiastic and so excited to be pursuing medicine. And I'm so happy to have her on here today. So I'm going to have Deqa tell us a little bit about herself. Deqa, tell us about yourself.
Thank you. I'm honored that you invited me. Thank you so much. A little bit about myself. My name is Deqa Muhammad. I am a first generation student and I'm an immigrant from Somalia. I was raised by a single mom. I lost my father at a very young age. I don't really remember that much about him. And my mom had to be the father and the mother for me. And she had to give up her dreams, the little shop that she had in Somalia. And she had to come here in the US to work for us. And she used to send us money. And I was back with my maternal grandmother, and she took care of me until I came here. And so when I was in Somalia, I remember I used to live in this little town called Hawa Abdi. I don't know if a lot of people know. Dr. Qali knows.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Hawa Abdi. And I don't think there's many Somali people who don't know Dr. Hawa Abdi.
Dr. Hawa Abdi, like, she was phenomenal. She was my inspiration to becoming a doctor. I lived right across her hospital, and I used to see everything that used to happen. And that's where I got the inspiration to help and to become a doctor like her if I ever got the opportunity. So it was a miracle for me when I came here, and I was like, right now is the time. All along, it's been a dream, and now it's time for me to fulfill that dream. So here I am. I'm pursuing medicine, trying to, study for the MCAT right now. I'm not there yet, but inshallah.
Inshallah, you're going to get there. It's a journey. It's a journey. That's so beautiful. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Kudos to your mom for carrying the torch for your family and helping you continue working towards your dream. MashaAllah, that's such an inspirational story. Thank you for sharing with us. So you found your calling into the medical field from observing what Dr. Hawa Abdi. So for those of you who don't know Dr. Hawa Abdi was an OB-GYN in Somalia who has been inspirational and phenomenal in taking care of a lot of people during the Civil War. So I know her well because she's my mom's cousin. And she's the one who took care of my grandmother when she was shot during the war. So that's how I met her for the first time. I've known her from family conversations and whatnot, but I saw her and met her for the first time. And she was, I believe, I think she was the first Somali surgeon that I've met. And she was the second Somali woman physician that I met after my aunt, who's a doctor. And so she was an OB-GYN, she was a gynecologist, but she would take care of all kinds of trauma patients because she was the only one. And she trained her daughters in becoming physicians as well. And so that's a great inspiration for you to have seen at such a young age, mashallah.
Thank you.
So that's where you got your inspiration. And so how is your journey into pre-med at this point? Where are you at? Are you applying? Are you on the MCAT phase? How's that going?
I'm on the MCAT phase. I'm trying to do more volunteering hours, shadowing if I could find. Also, I'm working on my personal statement. This class, actually, the course that I've taken with you has woken me up, and I have to start on my personal statement. So I'm doing that. Also, TAing in my school, trying to finish last minute classes for the MCAT classes. It's a prerequisite science classes.
So thank you for bringing up the Taking Up Space course. I know you're a student and you've taken that course. How did you come into it? I know the journey, but I want you to share with our audience. How did you hear about it? What did you learn in it? And how did it, you said it kind of woke you up. How did it wake you up?
Okay, so I have tried to find somebody who I could relate to, someone who's been there, done that, like whatever that I'm trying to achieve now. And it was very difficult for me to find. Even I remember in my capstone senior year in high school, we had this professional networking conference that we attended, the senior class attended. And I remember having a conversation with the doctors there. And to my surprise, 98% of the doctors there were male. No one and on top of that, they were white. And I remember asking my capstone teacher, where are the females? What's happening? And she was like, oh, there's one female. And I was like, is she a woman of color? Not to disrespect, but I'm trying to find somebody who I could relate to. And she found a Black physician who was, I think she was a dermatologist. And I had this conversation where I asked her, what did you do? How did you decide? And we got into talking, and she said she had to give up a lot of stuff, including, having a family. So she was in her early 40s, and she said she never got a family, she never married, and that was one of her main things. But she had to give up on that in order to pursue her career in medicine. And that, instead of feeling encouraged, that was the main reason why I went to that conference. I left that conference heartbroken because my values are not to give up. I want to have it all. I want to do medicine. Also, I want to have a family. And I remember having this conversation with my mom, and she said, Inshallah, you'll have it, and you'll find somebody who you can look up to, and they can tell you their experience and mentor you eventually. And we left it at that. Years later, I finished college, and all of a sudden, I know your sister, Esme. Yeah. So they were talking. My mom and her, she used to come over on the weekends and when the kids were at Deqa, and they were talking, and all of a sudden she said that I knew that I've heard of you and I was following you, but I didn't really know you. Mm-hmm. And so she said that you're moving to Arizona. And I was like, I need to pray for Shukra right now. You're moving to Arizona. And I remember asking my mom, begging her, can we please visit Dr. Khali? I want to meet her. I want to ask her, how did she do it? And I remember coming over to your house and having an interview with you, and you were very kind, and you were telling me everything. And I was like, that's it. I found the person I was looking for. You literally embodied everything that I stood for and every value that I had. And that's how I started getting to know you and trying to take your, when you told me that you had this Taking Up Space course, I was like, okay, my life is set. I'm taking this class, whatever it takes.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Okay, so I got to tell you guys about this meeting, okay? So I remember this meeting very, very specifically with you and your mom, and I think there was another pair of mother-daughter. It was the best meeting I've ever had. It was so awesome. They brought food. They brought so much food. I mean, we had anjero, we had sambus, we had bisbats, we had paris, we had they brought so much food. And it was these two moms and my sister. And the moms were literally like, here's some food, here's our daughters, mentor them.
Yep. It was amazing.
And it was amazing. It was so much fun. Yes. And so that's how I met Deqa. Yes.
Yep. That was our official meeting. And then it just went from there. And you told me about the class, and it was still making it up. You were planning it. You didn't have the class yet.
Deqa was on the wait list, number one on that list, because I was in the process of developing it and developing the curriculum and taking into account what exactly it is that we needed to talk about and to address. And I think you took the first 3-hour course that I taught.
Yeah. I remember that. Talking about waking up, that's when I had the epiphany of, I remember you teaching us defining relationships with people and knowing our community and how they give unsolicited advice. It always affected me. There will always be saying something like, "Oh, why do you look like that? You've never got married. You're still in your teenagers, in your early 20s, and you look like that. Who's going to marry you?" Or, "Why are you still waiting? Don't be like your mom." Because my mom, a little about my mom, she never got remarried, even though she lost her husband at a very young age. She had me as a teenager. She lost my dad when I think she was even younger than I am right now. And she never got remarried. She just put all of her energy into raising us and having two jobs. And my mom was actually pursuing to become a pharmacist, and she couldn't continue two jobs with her studies, so she just stopped for us. So they were telling me, don't be like your mom. She cut herself off at a very young age. Don't follow her footsteps. You need to get married early. You need to have kids, this and that. And it always used to get to me. And then I took your class and I was like, who are these people to me? Do their opinions, does it even matter? And that's where I went from defining my relationships and seeing who I can take their advice and who to ignore.
That's awesome. Kudos to your mom again. I think that's a very difficult decision to make. And she made an intentional decision to focus on raising you and your brother. And for people to look down on that, that's just shame. SubhanAllah.
It was my own family too, my own family doing that.
But you're able to now recalibrate how you take on that kind of message.
Oh, yeah. I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, that's what you think. That's your opinion. Don't tell how to live my life. That's literally what I've been telling you. At first, I was like, oh, I need to respect them. You know, they're older than me and this and that. And I'm like, I'm an adult. I know what's good for me. I have to stand up for myself. I have to speak up for myself and say, hey, this is my values and I know what I'm doing with my life. So respectfully back off. And that's what I've been doing.
Thank you. Respectfully back off, right?
Yes, respectfully.
With all due respect.
Yeah.
With all due respect, thank you for your feedback, but no thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. That small, tiny shift is so transformational in how you approach things because those feedbacks, they have a real impact. They have a real impact in steering you away from your goals and from the work that you want to do. And to have that recalibration of, okay, how do I take this on? I know it's coming from someone close, someone who is family, and their input impacts us because we care about them, because they're our family members. But how do we take that and evaluate it against our own personal values and what we feel is important to us? That's very important. I'm glad you brought that up. So can you remember like a moment in the course where you felt like things changed? I know we just talked about the relationships and the people that gave you feedback, but in how you're pursuing your career and where you think it's going to go and where you feel like you're going to head in the future, has there been a change in how you see the outlook of your career as opposed to before you took the course?
Oh, definitely, big time. All I've been trying to do since I was here trying to pursue medicine, it was just get a seat at the table, like just get into medical school. And that was literally my big goal. I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I want to be a surgeon, just get into medical school, graduate, become a surgeon. That's it, end of story. And you have opened up my eyes literally and told me, no, it's not enough just to get a seat at the table. You could do much more than that. And that's when this shift has taken place. And I was like, oh, I never thought of it like that. I was just trying to become a doctor and maybe go back home and or do like Doctors Without Borders and help out. But I never in my life sat down and thought, oh, okay, let me see what I can do. And now after I took this class, I have these big audacious goals, like you said in your course, where I want to go back home and not just as a physician. I want to go back home and build my own clinic. That's how, it's amazing.
All you have to do is dream it. Yes, all you have to do is dream it. And I think that's one of the things that I feel like it's very important for us to talk about and discuss. And that's why it's taken me a while to kind of go through these different curriculums and these different topics to talk about. Because I think a limiting factor is how big we're able to dream.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. How big we're able to dream is so limited because we are taught to strive for, oh, you're a Black Muslim woman who made it into this field. That's an accomplishment on its own. And that's enough.
Yeah, that was literally my mindset before this class. Literally my
Yeah.
mind. It's crazy.
But if everybody else is able to dream bigger and are taught to dream bigger from the very beginning, why can't we? Why are we limited to just fit in, to just get in? I'm really happy to hear you say that now you don't want to just go for a couple of days and help out. You want to build something. Your impact, your experience, your future training, inshallah, will allow you to do bigger things. And you're going to be able to do bigger things. In order for you to do that, it has to begin with the dream, and you're able to dream big now. MashaAllah.
Thanks to this course. Thanks to you.
So next question is, what advice do you have for an early career Muslim woman or a woman of color like you who has taken the leap and signed up for this course, but they're afraid to dig in because it's a bit much? It may be a little intimidating. What advice do you have for them?
I would say go for it because you will never regret it, because I haven't. I remember I went into this course, I took this course with the mindset of, oh, it's going to help me in the future with my career and nothing else. And I came to find out that it helped me beyond that. Whatever that Dr. Kali has taught me, I'm able to take it and use it in my personal growth. I was telling Dr. Kali as we were taking the last module with her that I remember having a fight with my little brother, and I never thought I would use this class, never in my life, to like sit down and analyze and solve the problem that we were having. And I did that.
MashaAllah.
So don't have doubts. I would say go for it because you'll come out on the other side better than ever.
Inshallah. And what advice do you have for someone on the fence and not sure if this is for them?
This is for you. Invest in yourself, I would say, because you don't get just a career growth. You get everything in one, because a lot of the classes that I've taken or like people that I've followed on social media, all I've heard were the negative, never about, oh, we have unequal opportunities. We have all these obstacles and we don't know how to go about it. And this course, the Taking Up Space course, not only teaches you or reminds you what these disadvantages are for us, but it also teaches you how to face them. And that's what it did for me. And I promise you it will do for that for everybody who is on the same boat as me. So take the course. I mean it. Seriously, take the course. Go for it. If she's teaching life one right now, I'll take it again. That's how good this class is. Because let me tell you that.
Inshallah, we have plans, inshallah, for future courses that are going to be live and workshops that are going to be live. Stay tuned. That's an early bird announcement. But inshallah, yes, I have a lot more things that are developing for workshops, but this is a foundational course. You have to have this foundation, and that way the workshops are going to be a lot more in depth. So inshallah, we will definitely have future in-person courses.
Yeah, I'm stopping myself from giving away too much. Like, you have to find out for yourselves. Like the workbooks that she gives, the different feedbacks, and oh my God, I want to say so much my favorite module, but I'm like stopping myself.
Which one was your favorite? I have too many favorites.
The Defiant AF. I live by that phrase, Defiant AF.
Yeah.
That is my absolute favorite.
Yeah, I think after every module I was teaching, every lesson I was teaching, I was like, oh my God, this is my favorite.
I remember. No, this is by far my favorite. And they're going to have to find out for themselves what it means, Defiant AF. So go take the class.
Yes, that is actually my absolute favorite one. Yeah. But yes, definitely. I'm really, really excited. I was so excited to have you on the live sessions. It was a blast. We actually have a lot of fun. This course is a lot about, we do the reality check and go through what the workplaces are like, but we also have a lot of fun in coming up with strategies and how to go about maneuvering through these places. So I had a blast teaching it, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, definitely.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we wrap up?
When is the next workshop? Because I'm waiting for that. There's nothing else. I'm waiting more on the next courses that you're going to teach. This is how good this class is. And I can't stress enough how important and how valuable this course is, because I promise you, anybody who's trying to take this class, who's on the fence and not sure, this is for you, and you will not regret it. That's all I have to say. I feel like a broken record. Take this class. I don't want to seem like aggressive. I'm not forcing you, but take the class.
I promise you guys, I did not make her say this, but she's been one of the people who've motivated me to continue developing the course, because I've been working on it for so long. And with how busy my schedule is with work and the kids, it's the constant messages that I get. It's the constant questions and the mentoring that I do with a lot of these students who are experiencing all the things that I've gone through, that motivated me to keep going and to keep continuing to develop this course and to see it actually benefiting people. All I have to say is alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah for allowing me to have the time to devote to this. It was a lot of effort and technology learning and going through the whole hiring process and all of that to get a team together to do this. But alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, as long as it's beneficial, as long as you are seeing benefits from this, alhamdulillah. So thank you, Deqa, for sharing your journey with us and your story with us. We appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming and sharing everything with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, because I know you have a big responsibility representing our community and trying to be a role model, which you are, and you're carrying that beautifully. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And may Allah help you all the way and bless you.
Aww, I'm going to cry.
Yeah. Oh, please. No, I mean it. Well, I have searched and looked. And when I found out that you were moving here and you were doing something like this, when you have your own family and you're a surgeon and amazing at both. And now on top of that, mashallah, you're doing this course for us. It's something that has also inspired me. I'm like, maybe I should take away her job next, in the future and do something like that as well. So I might come after you.
No, inshallah. You know what? We're growing a community. We're growing this thing of being defiant, the whole Defiant Career Strategy, Defiance Academy. Inshallah, you are more than welcome to come join us and grow us. The other day, I heard from someone in Australia who was like, can your organization be extended here? And I said, yeah.
Yeah, please.
Inshallah, inshallah. So we have a lot of room to grow. And inshallah, you made me share something that I didn't want to share just yet, but inshallah, it's coming. We're going to have live workshops. We're going to have live conferences. And inshallah, we're going to have a huge community of spreading this message of, yes, there is a lot more that we could do. We are very capable. We're very powerful. And I just can't wait. So you can come after my job. You can come after all of it. Definitely. You are more than welcome to.
You're great at that. So I'm leaving it for you to continue this great journey.
My time, all of our times in this world are limited. So my goal is not for me to create this and then when I'm gone, it's gone. I talk about leadership and legacy is at the top of this system that we're creating, the Defiant Career Strategy, right? Leadership and legacy is the ultimate goal. And so I feel like that's what I'm working on right now is this career strategy that we create, this community that we create. I want it to live beyond me. It doesn't need to be defined by me, by my presence. If I can create this message and spread it out to the world, spread it to you guys who are young and early in your career, and you can take that message and spread it out to the rest of the world, to the young women who need to hear it, I'm just a small little part of it. And that's the importance of legacy, is that we can create things that live beyond us. And I'm just honored and grateful to be at the beginning of this movement that we really, really need.
Inshallah. Thank you so much.
Inshallah. Thank you, Deqa. Thank you again for coming. And thank you to our listeners for tuning into the Professional Muslim Woman podcast. If this discussion resonated with you and you found it helpful, drop a like and a review and come say hi on our Professional Muslim Woman podcast Facebook group or your favorite social media platform. I love hearing from you guys. And don't forget to submit your burning career and life questions or topics you'd like us to cover at the link below. Talk to you guys soon. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for tuning in to the Professional Muslim Women podcast, the place for Muslim women to inspire and be inspired. Please join us on our Facebook group, Professional Muslim Women Podcast, to continue the conversation and connect with Muslim women like you. Thank you to our sponsor, Defiance Academy and the Taking Up Space course. Be sure to check out the course at the link below. If you have any burning career and life goals questions or you'd like to suggest topics for us to cover, submit them to the Mentoring Moments segment at the link below. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and drop us a like and a review. We'd love to hear from you. As always, may Allah guide us all on this journey. Stay blessed. Wa alaikum salam.